Good afternoon. My name is Adrian Telfer. I'm a Detective Superintendent with the Australian Federal Police. Today I'm joined by Detective Acting Superintendent Dave Breeze to my left from the Queensland Police Service and Acting Commander Troy Sokoloff from the Australian Border Force to my right. Today I can reveal the AFP and its partners under the Queensland Joint Organised Crime Task Force have charged 4 people for their alleged involvement in an elaborate money laundering operation that washed millions of dollars in criminal proceeds through multiple Australian businesses. The Australian Federal Police-led Criminal Assets Confiscation Task Force has also restrained property, bank accounts and luxury cars worth more than $21 million, which we will allege was purchased with tainted money. This investigation has unravelled a sophisticated operation that allegedly moved illicit cash around the country using dead drops and couriers before washing it through a network of seemingly legitimate businesses in southeast Queensland. The results we're announcing today will deliver a significant blow to alleged individuals who have relied on this operation to turn their ill-gotten profits into property portfolios, luxury cars and cryptocurrency. Last Thursday, police arrested a 32-year-old man as he left a Woolloongabba barber shop. Later that day, we executed a search warrant at his Heathwood home. He was charged with money laundering and failing to provide his password to his mobile phone. He has been remanded in custody and is scheduled to face Brisbane Magistrates Courts today. The majority of these properties restrained by the Criminal Asset Confiscation Task Force were linked to this individual. Last Friday, more than 70 members of the Queensland Joint Organised Crime Task Force, which we call the JOCTF, executed 13 more search warrants at homes and businesses on the Gold Coast and in Brisbane. A Maudslin couple and a West End man were each charged with a money laundering offence. This operation started in December of 2023 when the QJOCTF began investigating suspicious financial transactions. The investigation linked the Heathwood man to a company that had received millions of dollars transferred via suspicious third-party transactions. Investigators following the money trail discovered the man was allegedly a customer of a sophisticated money laundering operation that we will allege turned over $190 million between October 2022 and May 2024. We will allege the Heathwood man used the operation to launder $9.5 million of illicit funds in just 18 months. The money laundering operation was allegedly run through a Gold Coast security business that, amongst other things, offered armoured transport services to its clients. This business transferred cash and other valuables between legitimate businesses and banks throughout southeast Queensland. The owners and operators of the security business were a 48-year-old and a 35-year-old woman from Maudslin. Each were charged last Friday. Police will also allege a 58-year-old West End man, who was also charged on Friday, was the director of a business that funneled money from the security business to the Heathwood man. We allege that although this scheme was based in southeast Queensland, it was truly a national operation, laundering the profits of criminal ventures across this country. These cash profits were being flown into Queensland to be washed and returned to individuals. Investigations into all elements of the operation, including other potential criminal clients and the source of the $190 million that the security business transferred into cryptocurrency between October 22 and May 24, is ongoing. I'd just like to say money laundering is the lifeblood of organised crime, and these schemes exist for one purpose: to fill the pockets of organised crime. Money laundering bankrolls future criminal ventures such as drug trafficking and cybercrime, at the expense of Australia's national security, its economy and our social security system. This crime type is often accompanied by complex webs of deception and cannot be tackled by one agency alone. The AFP and its partners have some of the best money laundering experts and investigators in the world, and they're in this room. And this result is a testament to their diligence and their perseverance. I'll now hand over to the Australian Border Force Acting Commander Troy Sokoloff.
Thank you, Adrian. Good afternoon. As Adrian said, my name is Troy Sokoloff and I'm the Acting Commander of Operations Queensland in the Australian Border Force. This outcome is significant. It serves as a powerful reminder that money laundering is not a victimless crime. It fuels organised crime, undermines the integrity of Australia's border and financial systems, and ultimately impacts everyday Australians. ABF officers embedded in the Queensland Joint Organised Crime Task Force played a critical role in this investigation, with one of our senior investigators serving as co-case officer from the outset. Their dedication and expertise were central to disrupting this syndicate. The ABF remains committed to working hand in hand with our law enforcement partners to detect, disrupt, and dismantle transnational crime. And today's result is testament to the strength of that collaboration. Our message to money laundering persons is such that you will be caught and you will be taken to the cleaners. Thank you, and I'll now hand over to David from QPS.
Thanks. Thank you, David Breeze, Acting Detective Superintendent attached to the Drug and Serious Crime Group, Crime and Intelligence Command, QPS. This result is an outstanding result for the Queensland community. While it will be alleged that the offences were committed right across the country, as Adrian has outlined, the fact that they were established here in Queensland, the alleged offenders, means that, and given the sheer size of the assets that have been restrained, it makes sense that we would have a number of, if not countless, victims within Queensland, both individuals and businesses affected. So therefore, the fact that this has happened is an outstanding outcome for Queensland. We are committed to working with our partner agencies to ensure the continued safety of Queensland and to reduce the number of victims affected by money laundering and the other offences that occur that lead into that. So thank you to my partner agencies, and I'll hand it back over to Adrian.
Is there any questions?
Are you able to explain the Heathwood man? You were talking about suspicious transactions, so can you explain a bit further about how that came to sort of notice?
Yeah, look, obviously our investigators, in terms of money laundering, that's something that's always of interest to the Australian Federal Police. We often follow the money. Our investigators back in 2023 in December conducted a number of inquiries, which led to identifying the Heathwood man and some suspicious transactions, and that's how our investigation started.
Was that relating to homes that were purchased, or I think he runs a business relating to...
Yeah, look, there are several businesses that are involved in this. This is a highly complex investigation, but obviously there is a starting point. We did look at a particular business and we looked at those transactions which led us to initiate investigation with our partners.
Are you able to say what type of criminal networks were feeding the money into this syndicate?
Yeah, look, obviously this is not the finish of the investigation. It's somewhat the start. We have a huge amount of work ahead of us, but like we did indicate, there is a certain company, a security company, that has moved a significant amount of money, up to $190 million, and we're still investigating the source of that money.
Are you looking into any possible further arrests or charges?
Absolutely. Like I said, we still have investigators that will continue to investigate despite the results that we achieved last week. So there's a huge amount of work to do, a lot of investigating still to do. We collected a huge amount of data last Thursday and Friday, and we will meticulously comb through that over the coming weeks and, to be honest, coming months, and we certainly don't rule out further arrests.
The money that you said, I think 190 million has gone through, was that through centralised crypto exchanges? Is there a particular one? Is it an Australian-based one or is it an overseas-based one?
Yeah, look, we are alleging that it was an Australian-based company.
A Brisbane-based company?
Yes.
Yeah. So SwiftX, is that right?
No, look, I certainly today won't be naming any companies at all. And like I said, these are allegations and we still have a lot of work to do. But yeah, I can't name any companies.
Is there any suggestion there was international help?
Yeah, we do believe that there are international connections with his investigation. We do work with our partners overseas. But look, today we have arrested 4 individuals from Queensland. But this was a national investigation, and we're certainly working with our partners in each state and territory to gather evidence. Like I said, we did identify money being flown into Queensland, which we believe were illicit funds.
From interstate?
Yes.
So would you be thinking there'd be hundreds of individuals or thousands of individuals that have used this company to try and launder money?
Yeah, look, it's important to note that these companies were set up, they're very complex. It is a money laundering syndicate, however, there were legitimate sides of each of these businesses. So, and that is a difficult component, that's where it's real complex, is for us to identify the difference between illicit cash and illicit.
And the West End man that's been charged, is he charged just in relation to this one person, the Heathwood man, or do you allege that he was also doing this activity for other individuals that were trying to launder money?
Yeah, at this stage, we believe he was a significant individual involved in moving money to the man from Heathwood.
And others as well, or at this point he's still under investigation?
Yeah, still under investigation.
At the core of this, would you allege there was unexplained wealth that could be seen from the outset, or was it very well hidden in business?
No, look, this has been a very sophisticated operation. From the outset, no. But certainly that's part of the allegations that we're putting before the court is the amount of wealth.
In terms of the money that's gone through crypto exchanges, is that money still on these exchanges, or is it gone into hard wallets or other sorts of wallets, and is it retrievable?
Look, we did seize last Friday some cryptocurrency and last Thursday, but obviously there is a lot of data to still go through, and there is a lot of money that we still have to follow, which we will do.
It kind of reads like a bit of a movie script, the allegations. So something like this to unpick would take years.
Yeah, it's a good point, but I do draw the fact that we started this investigation in 2023, so it's been pretty painstaking, it's been long hours, it's been a huge investigation across the country, but we took our time, and last Thursday was the result of a huge amount of police work. And we cannot do that without our partners. And that's why it's been in this joint space. We all bring different capabilities and expertise to the table, but we've had some of the best investigators and best capability financial experts working on this for a long time.
The transport company, had that been operating legitimately for a long time prior to the period that you're
Yes,
charged with?
yes, it was. It was a well-established business on the Gold Coast.
And nothing untoward up until that point in terms of...
Look, I can't really go into that detail, but suffice to say it was well-established.
What happens to these companies now that they're at the centre of an allegation? Do they continue business as usual while the investigations continue?
Look, that's a difficult question for me to answer right now. Obviously, we have charged 2 individuals who ran a business on the Gold Coast. The outcome from now, it's too hard to tell.
How concerning is it that people are doing cash drops? Like if they're getting to that level where this sort of activity is going on, were they pretty well known in the criminal underworld? Look,
I hate to say cash drops is something that we've been looking at in law enforcement for decades, and it will continue to occur, and that's why we have these investigations that particularly focus on money, because we do believe it is happening out there. This is another one of many jobs where we do see this kind of activity being undertaken by organised crime.
In terms of money that was going through the crypto exchanges, if it was one exchange, was it a significant amount of transactions or deposits into them over time, and were they under, notifiable levels?
Yeah, look, we have seen dozens and dozens of transactions, and we are going to see dozens and dozens of transactions as we continue to work through all the data that we hold. But yes, it wasn't just one transaction.
And sorry, could you just explain what a dead drop is? Is that where cash is left at a pickup point?
Yeah, look, essentially it's where cash is left at a pickup point. It can be a park, it could be scrubland, it could be anywhere. It could be at a car park, it could be in a car, it could be anywhere where it's the methodology behind organised crime is there's no face-to-face meetings. Cash is left in a certain location and another individual will collect it.
Is there any evidence to suggest some of this money's being moved overseas into other areas, and has it been withdrawn because it's through other crypto exchanges?
Look, we certainly don't rule it out. Like I said, we have a lot of money to still follow, and whether that takes us overseas or domestically is something remains to be seen.
And OMCG links, is there any that have been sort of identified at this point?
Not at this stage. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.